Cars have always been more than just a way to get from one place to another. They're a reflection of style, technology, and even culture. Over the decades, automakers have introduced countless features to improve comfort, safety, and design. Some of these innovations were so practical that they became standard in nearly every vehicle. Others, however, didn't quite stand the test of time. From quirky design choices to once cutting-edge technology, these features slowly faded away as trends, regulations, and driver expectations changed. In this video, we're looking back at 10 car innovations that were once popular but eventually disappeared, and the reasons behind their decline. Bench seats. In the past, especially in cars from the 1960s and earlier, bench seats were a common feature. Instead of the separate bucket seats we see in most vehicles today, these seats stretched across the entire front row, creating a shared seating arrangement. They could fit up to 3 passengers in the front, though the person in the middle rarely had the most comfortable ride. Over time, bench seats fell out of favor as car makers shifted toward bucket seats, which offered better safety, comfort, and ergonomic support. Nowadays, bench seats are more of a nostalgic reminder of classic and vintage cars rather than a feature in modern vehicles. Vent windows. Often called wing windows, these small triangular panels were once a familiar sight at the front corner of car side windows. Before air conditioning became standard, vent windows provided an easy way to let in fresh air. Drivers or passengers could simply pivot them to direct a breeze inside. While practical, they gradually disappeared as modern cars adopted efficient air conditioning systems, along with sleeker door designs and improved aerodynamics. Today, vent windows are mostly remembered as a charming detail from older vehicles. Ashtrays and cigarette lighters. For much of the 20th century, nearly every car came equipped with an ashtray and a built-in cigarette lighter, a reflection of how common smoking was at the time. As awareness of smoking's health risks grew and social attitudes shifted, these features gradually lost their place in vehicles. Stricter laws, especially those banning smoking in cars with children, accelerated their decline. While ashtrays have all but vanished from modern car interiors, the lighter socket didn't disappear. Instead, it was repurposed into a convenient power outlet, now widely used for charging phones, GPS units, and other electronic devices via USB adapters. Record players. In the 1950s and 1960s, some luxury cars came with built-in record players, designed to let drivers enjoy vinyl music on the road. While the idea sounded impressive, it wasn't practical. Bumps and vibrations often made the needle skip, ruining the listening experience. With the arrival of cassette tapes and later CDs, in-car record players quickly disappeared, becoming a quirky but short-lived experiment in automotive history. Landau bars. Landau bars were ornamental features that gained popularity on luxury cars during the mid-20th century. Their design was inspired by the Landau carriage, a horse-drawn vehicle with a folding top, and they were usually mounted on the rear sides of car roofs. Made from chrome or polished metal, these bars created the impression of a convertible roof, even when the car was not one. Over time, however, shifting consumer tastes and the move toward cleaner, more modern styling caused them to fall out of favor. Today, Landau bars are rarely seen, remembered mainly as a nostalgic element of vintage automotive design. Column shifter. The column-mounted shifter, often called the column shifter, or 3 on the tree, was once a common feature in cars, especially before center consoles became standard. Positioned on the steering column, it allowed drivers to change gears without reaching toward the middle of the vehicle. This setup was especially popular in North America from the 1930s through the 1980s. As automotive interiors evolved toward greater comfort and ergonomics, floor-mounted shifters gradually took over, offering a more intuitive and modern design. Today, column shifters are mostly limited to trucks and certain utility vehicles, rarely seen in regular passenger cars. Trunk racks. Luggage racks mounted on car trunks were a common sight in the 1970s and 1980s, offering drivers extra space to carry bags and gear outside the vehicle. While practical for long trips, these racks had drawbacks. Items were exposed to weather, theft, and damage, making them less secure than interior storage. As vehicles evolved to include larger trunks and more efficient cargo space, external racks became less necessary. The shift toward cleaner, sleeker car designs also played a role in their decline. Today, trunk racks are mostly remembered as a distinctive detail from past automotive trends. Car phone. Before cell phones became common, car phones were considered a luxury feature in the 1980s and 1990s. Hardwired directly into vehicles, they allowed drivers and passengers to make calls on the road, which at the time felt like cutting-edge technology. Their appeal didn't last long, though. Portable mobile phones quickly became smaller, more affordable, and far more convenient. Automakers eventually phased out built-in phones, replacing them with systems that supported personal devices. Today, Bluetooth connectivity and hands-free calling have taken their place, leaving the car phone as a nostalgic reminder of early in-car communication technology. Hood ornaments. Once a defining element of automotive design, hood ornaments served as decorative mascots and status symbols, with luxury brands using them to showcase elegance and identity. Over time, however, safety concerns emerged as these protruding designs posed risks to pedestrians in collisions. This led many manufacturers to remove them entirely or switch to retractable versions. Although no longer common on modern vehicles, hood ornaments remain iconic, remembered as symbols of craftsmanship and style from an earlier era of motoring. Pop-up headlights. Pop-up headlights, also known as retractable or flip-up headlights, became one of the most recognizable car design trends from the 1960s through the 1990s. Hidden within the hood or fenders, they stayed out of sight during the day and smoothly rose into place at night, giving vehicles a clean, aerodynamic profile when not in use. Beyond practicality, they added a sense of style and futuristic flair that made many sports cars of the era instantly iconic. Despite their popularity, pop-up headlights had several downsides. The mechanical systems that powered them were often complex and prone to failure over time. They also created aerodynamic drag when raised, and more importantly, raised concerns under stricter pedestrian safety regulations introduced in later decades. These factors gradually pushed automakers to abandon the design. And there you have it, 10 car features that were once groundbreaking, stylish, or just plain practical, but didn't quite stand the test of time. Some disappeared because of safety concerns, others because technology moved forward, and a few simply went out of style. Yet each of them tells a story about how cars, and the way we use them, have evolved over the decades. Which of these features do you miss the most or wish would make a comeback? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trip down automotive memory lane, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more, and share it with a fellow car enthusiast. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.